Good morning, everybody. I'm Erin Copelan, and I am like your surprise kind of co-host today on the Together We Feel panel. This is the Come As You Are panel, and Melissa is mute today. She is here, she is in the background, but technology is being how technology can be. So she's here, she's listening, she's going to participate. But to kick us off, we have a beautiful panel. We've got Isabella Thor with us today, Lisa McCourt, and Tara May Temple. Tara, do you like the May in your name, Tara May, or just Tara?
Yes, I do like the May in my name.
You like the May. Amazing,
Yeah.
Tara May.
Thank you.
I'm Erin Copeland. And right, Melissa said some people have waited their whole lives for her to be silenced. I don't buy it. We were talking before we went live about how we all met Melissa and how much we love Melissa. So not even true. And we know all of the listeners here are all here because we love you. So I don't buy it, not for a hot second, Melissa. So the Come As You Are panel is literally that. We come as we are, and we talk about things that are happening in our lives, how we're feeling about things. And so we'll let everybody do a short intro and tell us what is in your life going on right now. Isabella, would you like to kick us off?
Sure, right thing. I feel like I'm right in the middle of the private practice day. So I run a functional medicine practice. So this is a wonderful break to be a part of this. What's going on right now is, other than just running my practice, which focuses on environmental health, lifestyle health, and nutritional health, and getting people healthier, which is like my number one thing, I think, and read about all day and talk about all day. I think the other thing I'm also considering a lot about right now is my first baby that's coming out, I should say, in a few months, which is super exciting. And that's a whole other, like Tara May will tell us later, hopefully, it's a whole other mind shift to go through. And it's funny because I work with so many women who are already in perimenopause or beyond with their health, and they've already gone through all of this, and I'm just beginning. So that's a little bit about me and where I'm at right now. Thanks, Erin.
Amazing. And you're in Canada, is that correct?
Yes, I'm on the east coast of Canada. Yeah, Maritimes.
Okay. And so I'm curious, just with, because I'm not super familiar with the Canadian medical system, as a functional medicine doctor, does that differ from like the regular medical system?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. It better be different, to be honest. So I run a private practice, so the public system here would not fund people coming to see me, unfortunately, not yet. Okay. But I definitely am very much like a general practitioner you'd come to see for anything, except I wouldn't handle things like emergency situations or surgeries, that sort of thing. But I do everything else. But instead of looking at you like you will have a chronic disease and you should, and that's just how life goes, and you should get prescriptions for it, drugs and invasive treatments, I say no. Functional medicine says we could actually have really good health and even better health as we age up until the day of our passing. And that is absolutely possible. And we use lifestyle, nutrition, environmental stuff to make that happen. I was actually just at a conference recently, and we were talking all about mold toxicity and like how many people have mold in their homes and at work and they don't even know it. And anyway, so I like you can see, I can talk about that for many for a long time, but yeah,
it sounds like it's very similar to how functional medicine is. Sorry,
go ahead. Yeah, we're good.
I was just saying it sounds very similar to how functional medicine is run in the United States. It's a separate system and in the same basis. And that, I mean, I'm sure Melissa could host an entire episode just talking about mold and people's experiences with mold, especially here in South Florida. It's like when they come out with their little meters, like there's so much just, outside. It's a whole.
Totally. Exactly.
Yeah. So Lisa, good morning. How are you today? Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are today. What is your come as you are? What are you bringing today?
Hi, Erin. Yeah. So, I have written a lot of books about joy and practical spirituality. I lead an online joy school, and my online existence has remained pretty constant. But as I was sharing with some of you before the panel, I have just, like, literally just relocated from Florida to Hudson Valley, New York. So I'm at a little bit of a clean slate juncture where I'm really kind of deciding how I want to present what I do here. It's almost an opportunity for reinvention, and I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but I want to take advantage of it. So I've been a little scaled back in what I've been doing through my work, but my books are still available, and my Joy School Online has remained the same. So that's pretty much where I am today.
No, and I love that. And we were talking before the show started just kind of about the concept of joy and people asking us what we do for a living. It's like, hi, my name is Erin. Oh, Erin, what do you do? It's like, oh, like, does that have to be our defining feature? And I do have a friend that her first question is always, what is exciting you right now? Which I appreciate. Sometimes that also gives me stress because I'm like, oh, wait, what am I excited about? But the last person who asked me what I do, I said, I'm a chaser of joy. That's what I told them. And so I appreciate the work you do in teaching joy. And they were kind of like, okay, like this is a cuckoo one. Like our conversation, I feel like didn't last much longer. I didn't know what to do with me.
Yes.
But yes, and Melissa was saying too, like just using our work, the thing we do from 9 to 5, as the thing to describe ourselves. And Melissa, I believe you talk about that too, just in how we define ourselves in the work that you do as part of your framework, and stepping away from those external ways of describing ourselves and describing ourselves from I'm losing my words, but yes, thank you, Melissa. They're character traits, describing themselves by their character traits. That's your questions in your podcast, that like that's what you lead off with. And so yeah, that is amazing. And Lisa, I cannot wait to see what comes next for you.
Me too. Thank you.
Tara May, tell us what you've got with your new book. Tara May's got a new book, and we're all celebrating the new book.
Yeah, I love it. I loved how you mentioned, not defining ourselves by our roles, because we are many things as women. When we can kind of detach ourselves from our identities in our careers and our roles, in our many roles as women, I think we give ourselves a bit more freedom, right? To live our lives and live that bliss and joy. So I love that you women are all bringing that up. And yeah, this is my big serving to others. Life Hacks for Healing and Harmony came out in January. And it's my mission to help everybody find inner peace. And I just, I've studied sociology at university, and it's been a lifelong passion of mine, studying human behavior. And this book is basically all the things that I've struggled with in my life, and then finding the practical tools in sociology and psychology to help people overcome different things, whether that be anxiety, loss, illness, self-image struggles, people that are looking to find their purpose. Like, I know you mentioned you're looking to reinvent yourself, and I think that's a fabulous time, because going on a self-discovery journey through your different life transitions is very important as women, because we're going to go through different phases, whether that be, having a new baby, or having our children move out and becoming empty nesters, or going into a retirement phase. And through all that, we can get lost in ourselves. So I highly recommend, there's a chapter in this book where I talk about finding purpose, and that really helps you to come back home to yourself and finding what your passion is and what it is that you want to do to, make yourself a little happier and peaceful in your day-to-day life. So yeah, I could go on forever about this because I love it. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
No, I love that. And I love that you talked about definiteness of purpose and finding your purpose. And it may have been Think and Grow Rich that really talked about definiteness of purpose. And I think there's so much power in deciding and deciding what we want. So we decide, we introduce ourselves by our character traits. We decide how we want to present ourselves. And I'm also in the middle of a training right now. I'm a caregiver support specialist, and I'm also an author of the best-selling book. It's hiding in the corner there. Welcome to Caregiving, the things caregivers never talk about. And Melissa's adding too, just remembering that we get to choose. We have choices. And there's a little training I'm doing right now, and it's called the Abundance Timeline. It's Amanda Francis who's doing it. It's a 21-day, just a little thing, and she drops little hints and tricks. And one of the things she talked about was I believe it's in the Kabbalah, about how there's multiple timelines happening, everything, everywhere, all at once kind of concept. And we get to choose basically what timeline we want to live on. And so do we want to live on the timeline where we're telling ourselves the same story? Like, I realize I tell myself I'm a caregiver. That's not my favorite story. So I love that work, and I love supporting caregivers. I feel so much that importance in bridging the gap between caregivers and medical professionals, and I see the need and the help, and my heart is there. But that isn't, thank you, Melissa, that is not my identity. And I can choose basically a different timeline that can deliver abundance to myself and everybody that I serve without me having to be in the trenches of caregiving every moment of every day. And so, I mean, I'm taking care of my husband through cancer, through liver transplant, through more cancer. My mom just moved into memory care 2 months ago with dementia. I took my grandparents, both of them, through end-of-life care. My cat has kidney disease. Okay, I am a caregiver to my cat. And so, thank you, Melissa. Yes, it is one of my many layers, but it doesn't identify me. And so every single day, every moment, we get to choose. We get to choose. And so I'd like to go back. Lisa, I'm just checking in to see if there's anything anybody said that kind of pinged with you and resonated that you'd like to pick up and ask a question or give more insight.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that it's just, as Melissa, uses the terminology of our layers, I just think that so often we're afraid of the next layer, or just wanting to protect whatever layer we've found some success in or some, identity with. And it's really beautiful to be in community with women who are really embracing that we're going to be many things. We're going to be constantly peeling away whatever the last layer was. And some of them are hard to let go of because I think our human-y self likes to have an identity, likes to say, this is me, this is who this name and this label and this title, that's who I am in the world. And what a beautiful adventure to just keep like pulling that off and saying, what else am I? What else am I? And being open to that. And that's what I'm kind of gathering from all of us here.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit more with us about what Joy School is all about, if you want to?
No. Thank you, darling. Yeah. So Joy School originally was just me taking readers through my books. I've written about joy for decades. And, I learned practical spirituality the way we all did, just through different teachers and certifications over the many, many years of being a student of spirituality and psychology. And it used to just be about my books. And then I'm also, like Melissa, really passionate about sharing other teachers, sharing, different, I like get tired of my own voice. So Joy School's always been, me doing my thing, but then also bringing in teachers. And that part, is always evolving and always changing. So I'm fine with that staying the way it is. I've had members who have been there for 6 years. It's a ongoing membership, month to month. And so that's going to stay constant. But what I've brought, in terms of workshops and live events and things in Florida, I'm really looking to change up. I've been exploring vocal modalities. I love the healing power of singing and moving energy that way through our vocal cords. So there's like a whole bunch of whole bunch of sort of newer, tastier feeling modality that I'm stretching into now. And I haven't really gotten my feet wet here in the Hudson Valley yet, but I came here to open a center. I was going to do a brick and mortar center, but it's just, there's so many beautiful centers already, and it's such a rich community that I'm more now just leaning toward inserting myself into community, however feels comfortable, like just to be a meaningful puzzle piece to what's going on here. So that's probably the way it'll go.
Well, and that's so much of the root of everything like we were talking about before we went live. It's just the beautiful community Melissa has built and the support that we've built with each other, both live in these kind of panels and off air. We talk about things off air, you guys. We do. And I love, Lisa, that idea of sound in all ways. And it's very interesting because like one of my layers, even though I love to talk and I can talk, but like you talk to me about chanting and I'm like, oh, I don't want to make a vibrational noise. Like that feels scary to me. And I like sound bath things. The one thing I would love to be trained in is tuning fork therapy.
I have that certification.
Do you? This is amazing.
Biofield tuning, Eileen McCusick, go do it. It's great. Yeah.
Is it so good? Yeah. Okay, good. I needed the permission slip to take, because I'm a massage therapist as well here in Florida. And so I want to incorporate that into my body work and stuff like that. So
this is really cool too, because I don't hear this a lot from people talking about things that stimulate the vagus nerve and rest it, and therefore trickle down into our entire stress response system. It's just, I can't tell you how often I've seen people, their health, what should we call it, that when they are recovering from something, they're really working at it, they're going at the holistic route, functional medicine route. If they don't address their stress, their recovery just slows to a crawl. And I think I probably say this every time I'm with Melissa, but it's because it's true. And when you said, vocal cords, humming, all that, isn't it just wonderful that this is the kind of prescription we can give to people as healthcare providers? It's not something you need to buy. You can literally just do it for free with your own two hands, your own body. That stuff lights me up. I mean,
we all know how cool it is to be in a sound bath experience. My husband does the crystal bowls. People always came to be sounded, right? As opposed to when you create it yourself, like that just amplifies all of the benefits.
And it's like Melissa just said here, it's already within us. Like we have so much power to heal ourselves. We just listen. We're so trained to not listen to ourselves and our bodies. I actually had, this is a TMI information, but I'm just going to tell apparently everybody on YouTube Live anyway. So last night I've been under an extreme amount of stress and not handling it in my best self. There's been no there's been like, I've just been holding it really, really tight. And so last night my pelvic floor decided to seize up. Like I woke up in just a sweat, which does not happen to me often, even though I'm in like the whole perimenopause thing, but I do my hormone replacement therapy, like sweat and my whole like I could barely move. I was like, what on earth is happening to me? And I was able to center myself and I did some relaxation exercises. I did some breathing, and it was fine. It was fine. And then this morning I was up against something I did not want to do and very, very stressful about it. And that pelvic floor seized up again. And I said, damn it. There's a new layer in the layer of learning and the layer of becoming. And my body's like, okay, you kind of haven't been listening to the other things that I have been telling you. So guess what? I'm going to give you something brand new that you don't know what to do with so that you slow your roll and deal with your shit. And so, and again, I did, but yeah.
throat.
Tara May, what has all of this brought up for you? I mean, we've gone from joy to humming to pelvic floors now. So
Yeah, I am listening and observing different healing modalities. So when listening to other podcasts, I try to write down what things I like to experiment with. And I heard one recently. I don't know if you guys heard of it because you're in the healthcare industry. Have you heard of the tapping solution where you tap under your
Emotional freedom technique?
Yeah. So, does anyone know much more about that? Because I heard that emotion and it's very strong. A way to get rid of that is to tap along there. But do you have to kind of say some sort of mantra while you do it?
There's
I'm
a setup
certified in EFT. I could explain it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it makes use of the meridians, the same meridians that acupuncturists use. So it's just recognition that we have an energetic system and that there are touch points where we can make contact with that energetic system. And in traditional tapping, you would want to, there's a sequence, and you would want to say the truth of whatever not great emotion is there for you. But while calming your energetic system by doing this tapping. So it's not denying anything. It's not suppressing anything. It's saying the truth of the negative emotion or fear or anxiety while telling your nervous system, and it's okay, basically. And it's okay that I'm having this fear. So it just sort of takes the resistance out of whatever emotion you're dealing with, so that it's there, but you're just sort of loving it into acceptance with this compassionate touch. And I mean, that's really small nutshell, but.
Oh, I love that.
I always also think of it too. And then Isabel, I want to give you a second to hop in on it as well, because you have a different perspective. I think of it as a pattern interrupter. And so you're rooting into the actual feeling, which, like Melissa mentioned, like the feelings that we have are such cues to what's happening to us, and we'll feel the feeling before the body even responds. But the tapping, you're rooting into that feeling, and the thing you're most afraid of, the thing that scares you the most, the thing that feels the grossest, like the worst case scenario that your brain can possibly think of. And then it's like, but I love and accept myself anyway. And the tapping on that meridian interrupts that pattern and breaks it up, and so that your brain stops telling the story. It stops playing the record over and over again.
Oh, yes. I love that. It adds to the, my whole premise is I've been disciplining the mind. So we all know that the mind, body, spirit is connected to one another. Ladies explain that whole tapping situation very well. But what I want to disseminate to our listeners is that, we need to get into these habits of daily practice of a tapping solution, whatever our chosen path of healing modality is, and consistently practice those. However best we can, but give ourselves compassion if we miss a day or two. But it's highly beneficial in my healing work and going through my transformation process, connecting with nature again and trying that tapping modality has really helped to bring me to a place of mindfulness and being present in my body instead of trying to just numb and forget about what I'm feeling or what I'm, wanting to suppress. But it really goes a long way in your healing journey. And I highly encourage people to try different modalities, and the tapping solution is definitely one that I want to practice more often. And thank you, ladies, for sharing that.
Yeah. And Melissa also added that nature is just a great backdrop for helping the nervous system settle. So like I'm picturing, tapping in the backyard, listening to the birds, disrupting, like Melissa said, disrupting that rumination of the story and combining things. Maybe then something comes up that you want to journal about. Tara May, you also mentioned something just in the consistency and having grace with ourselves. If we are not always consistent. And Isabella, I'm going to put you on the spot here because I'm just super curious from a medical perspective and in functional medicine and using these kinds of tools. If you've noticed a difference or have an opinion or perspective on consistency, like in one thing, like, okay, I'm going to like do tapping and commit to that, or variety and like shaking things up, or if you're just doing something. I'm curious to hear your opinion on that.
Right. If your goal is nervous system reset and not being so hyper reactive, but if that's the goal, right? I just want to clarify the goal. Everyone has a little bit of a different goal. Sometimes it's just healing, and I don't want to think about my personal life situation. And sometimes, and that never works. But so let's just assume you really do want to reset and you do want healing too. Then for sure, one of the most powerful things you can do, and you might not hear this from every practitioner you meet, but that is to have more orgasms, more body connection time with the body.
I knew it.
This is like,
I knew that was the answer.
Exactly. And again, this is all, it's all from your own power. It's all within your own 2 hands. You can be your own favorite lover, one of your own favorite lovers, or you can have a partner. Either way, I just highly encourage people, because it's one of those paths in our bodies that is incredibly relaxing and nervous system resetting. I remember, so I hope if anybody has a characteristic trait that they're trying to build in their life, I highly recommend the word and characteristic trait called orgasmic. It's gonna bring you back tenfold what you put into it. And I just wanted to note also, Melissa in the chat, she noted that she mentioned something called EMDR, and I highly recommend that therapy for anybody who's dealing with more trauma that sticks real deep and you really can't shake it. And it tends to be capital T trauma, really big stuff that happened to you. And EMDR, no, I mean, that's amazing. And but EMDR is like light EFT, which is what Tara May brought up with us for the first time. So that's the tapping, emotional freedom technique. And for the vast majority of people, that's really sufficient for them to have a really nice immediate relaxation. And long story short, EFT is the first thing I absolutely teach people as a tool that they can pull at any time. With EMDR as the second one, if they're really dealing with childhood trauma and stuff, because you can have parents that went to the war and you grew up with them around. They might have had alcoholic problems, could have drug issues. There's many layers to people's history and what they remember, especially as they grew up. So those early years are really informative. How you were born, was it a traumatic birth or not? All these things can stay in your nervous system. So yeah, I hope that was a short answer, Erin.
No, it was a beautiful answer, and it actually reminded me of my own work, because I actually have an entire chapter in my caregiving book about sex and how caregiving affects your sex life. I talk about orgasms as being a stress reliever and all of the benefits of it. And so which was the most difficult chapter for me to write. Like, it was like the last one. And the gal that helped me write my book, she really had to pull like, okay, so what would you do next? Like, what's the next thing? I'm like, oh, but it's but I did it. I put it out there. And one of the things I love about the work that Melissa does as well, and the women that she brings together, is that she has so many episodes about sexual health on the Feel podcast. And you can find all of those at embracinglayers.com. And Melissa, maybe we can put can we put a little linky in the show notes maybe about how to get those? Yep, she'll do that. And yes, I was on a sexual health panel with Dr. Fanny, and I forget Dr. Fanny's last name. I know she was there too, and she does a bunch of them. So yeah, so much fun. So I think maybe one more go around just to see, like, if you guys have any final thoughts, anything you have coming up.
I had a question
that you want to share with the audience, where people can find you.
Yes.
I could ask Tara May one. Okay. Inner peace is such a beautiful thing to want to cultivate in the world. So I was just very curious, since you've written a whole book, you've really delved into this for quite a while. What are the things that bring you right now the most inner peace these days, and how does it look different from 10 years ago, and why?
Yes, I love that question. Thank you, Isabella. I have to say, just the simple things that I can enjoy in day-to-day life, and that's basically sitting out in my backyard and just being with my dog and listening to the birds and just petting my dog and looking up at clouds go by. Just if the clouds are just going by in the sky, and I think about that as the challenges that we face in our life. That could just be something that we watch go by, because we have to let things take its course. And that puts things into perspective for me and brings a lot of peace, because, all we can ever control is the present moment that we're living in. So why not enjoy those simple things that bring us joy? And, it sounds a little corny, but that's what I love these days, is just that simplicity. And, I think for me, what I've been practicing through, learning the different, through different religions and spirituality practices, I'm really learning how to detach from outcomes and practice detachment to the life, because they say that attaching to things, whether that be, material things, wealth, status, appearances, and things like that, holding on to those things so closely can really, that is the source of all of our suffering and struggles. So I'm trying to practice all of these more ancient concepts and teachings that, we have to, however little it may be, we need to practice detachment and just be that observer in our lives. And I think, that's where compassion can come from for yourself, instead of beating yourself up for things not working out the way you want it to, or, you're really struggling with something right now. Do what you can do in the moment to bring yourself that joy. And whether that be the healing modality we talked about, with the EFT, the tapping, and, just listening to birds, or, the sound healing that Lisa and Erin had talked about, that is just something, we can have control over. And, you can choose peace. You don't need to let the external world will dictate what your peace is and what your joy is. You're in control of that yourself. So I want everyone to know that, you have the power to do that. And, Melissa, for having all of your, supportive resources and your platform here for us women, because we're here to support one another. And I'd have to say that Melissa's panel, and I'm truly grateful, has brought me a lot more peace over these last 2 years, in meeting you beautiful women and learning from each other. So I highly encourage that. Go get out there and use the resources and connect with like-minded women like yourself, and know that there's support in helping you in whatever you face. Yeah.
I'm so glad
Amazing.
someone else likes being on the porch watching the sky. I'm like, that's so nice. It's profound. Thanks, Tara.
Isabella, where can everybody find you?
Okay, wow, we're already at the end here. Wow, okay.
Getting there-ish.
Okay, no worries. It's real simple. I work with people all across the North America and Europe, so I'm just at isabellathor.com, and you can contact us directly if you need any help with chronic diseases, especially if you're at perimenopause or beyond. That's like the people I work with the most. So if you feel like your solutions require a holistic approach, someone who looks at nutrition, lifestyle, genetics, epigenetics, and environment like mold, then yeah, definitely I invite you to come knock on our virtual door and have a free consult with us. We have 4 free consults every month, because I know people sometimes just need someone to talk things through with. And they have so much that they've tried before, and they just need a clear path. What should we do next? That's why we call them clarity calls. And we'll always leave you with one big thing that you could do and focus on to get to the next level of whatever you want to resolve in your health journey. So that's it.
Amazing. And you are going to be on a panel with Melissa next week, correct? UTI Health Panel?
Yeah, UTIs. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and thank God Melissa's been so persistent with it. I think it is really necessary. I can't tell you how many unexplained UTIs you see in people, and there is definitely an explanation. And it's simpler than you think, and you do not need antibiotics, please. Anyway, that's next week. Very exciting.
Amazing. Lisa, do you have final thoughts, questions, upcoming things you want to share?
I think what's really hitting home for me the most from our conversation is just to, like, I feel like we kept kind of circling around just being authentic in our acceptance of whatever is there for us, whether it's through the tapping or sound healings or any of the different modalities. It's really about allowing what's there. This is a crazy ass time to be alive and being an emotional human. So just whatever that's evoking in you, to be compassionate with yourself with that. And I love also just watching the birds. And I have I'm aware that I have the advantage of novelty right now, because I loved doing all that in my last world. But now it's like, even if I have to go to the grocery store, just the drive through the mountains and the different scenery, is just like, I'm crying from the beauty of this new life. And I want to not lose that, because I know that novelty has something to do with that. But there's nothing wrong with enlisting novelty too, if you need a little bit of a, wake up in your appreciation of nature or what's going on. So those would be my takeaways. My website is my name, lisamccourt.com. My books are there. My online joy school is there, and my online events. And as physical things begin to shape up, those will be there as well. But it's been so wonderful to be with you all.
Oh, and I love that. And Melissa added just the concept of embracing our layers with curiosity instead of judgment. And so much of the work that you do goes into that. I think all of the work that we do comes from that place of curiosity and love and wanting to be of service instead of judgment. So, because Melissa added, we're worthy, we're valuable, and we get to choose. We get to choose every minute. We get to choose the timeline we want to live on. We get to choose it. So. Tara May, anything come up for you? Any extra things you want to share? Questions, where we can find your new book?
Yes, of course. If you want to learn more about my writing style or my messages on how to live a more simple, peaceful life, you can reach me on www.tarasweetawakening.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, so I post uplifting messages on there. And this could be found pretty much anywhere on Amazon, all Amazon marketplaces, Barnes & Noble, indigo.ca, just different book outlets online as well. So yeah, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'm always looking for feedback about what people are thinking, because that really helps to inform my future writings, and I'm looking to refine my craft. So this book, I always say that it wrote itself through me, and I have a really deep spiritual knowing that something divine is speaking through me as I do my writing. So when I listen to other women talk, and I hear podcasts and I'm reading books, they really help to inform what I'm going to write about next. But basically, I think what I'm going to be doing next in my upcoming work is going through kind of like a surveying kind of study to see what women want to hear about these days and what's in demand in terms of what people need support with. So that will be my next second book upcoming, but it's definitely an excavation process, and it's a lot of hearing you talk about your different perspectives are really kind of having to say what I wrote about. So yes, it'll be an interesting time, sure.
Yeah, the creative process is always so interesting, and I've been threatening a second book for I don't know how long. No, but it keeps coming out in different ways. It's been coming out in my newsletter, coming out in my podcast. Yeah, I was just invited to be a featured speaker on a panel with the University of San Diego for their caregiver conversations. Really, really excited to be part of that work. It's really the first time I've seen a transplant center put together something like this that wasn't just a separate support group. And a lot of times the caregivers get like the afterthought of the group. Like there's something for the patients always. And it's like, okay, we'll do something for the caregivers. But it's going to have me running the shows. There's a transplant surgeon who's part of it. He is the founder of the Reimagine Center with University of San Diego. There's going to be social workers that are part of it. And so we're all going to be on these panels having conversations, and it's going to be live, similar to a format like this. So people can pop in and ask questions of us in real time, which is, I'm just so excited about it. So just also trying to, let's see, how do I want to phrase this? I just want it to be orgasmic, Isabella. I'm using that as the character trait. It's going to be an orgasmic experience, caregiver conversations. And so also I just want to pause to thank everyone who did come in live. I see we had a couple people pop in. I don't see any questions, but Melissa did leave a note. So if you have any questions about anything that was on the show or anybody here, you are welcome to reach out to her and she will hook you up with all of the information. I think I would just like to close. Melissa, if you have any extra thoughts that you want to put in the chat, I will share them with everybody. Otherwise, in the meantime, I'm going to say I'm also a patio girl. I just wrote my last newsletter about like my favorite self-care thing is happy hour with my cat on the patio. Like every day she walks out the door and she turns around and is like, meow, come on, mom. And I go outside with her and I sit on the chaise lounge and she hops up. And I pet her and she drools and I pet her until she is done. And then when she hops down, then she's done. And that is our happy hour, like every day. And I love it. So I love that we all have that in common, that outdoor grounding personal time. So thank you all for being
a lot.
So much. Sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to say it takes a lot to hear that from 3 different women in one spot, that they all love doing that, because listen to it. It's like you're out there doing nothing, relaxing into your own body. You're not taking care of anyone. You're just letting yourself be. Man, that is such a thing that we got to learn how to do nothing. You could say it's that or whatever you want to call it, but like, just want to commend that. This is a great conclusion that has been reached by everybody here, and I am sure that it was not easy to get there. So I just want to commend you guys for that, and hope other people can try it out if they're at all curious about how to relax a little more.
Yeah,
and
like
not
2 minutes.
so much.
They say just if you can't do 10, do 2. Like if you get like just stand outside for a second and check out the clouds, like the beautiful cloud on Tara May's book, and just the cloud watching, bird listening. It's amazing. And it's such that little thing that can reset so much for us and help us bring us back into our bodies and into our joy. I love it. Let's see. Melissa has one more message, just thanking everybody for joining today and with her muteness. And for support from Melissa, you can visit her at embracinglayers.com, and there's a comment form there, and she has a free 30-minute chat option to see what resources that she offers that can support you most. The one thing I just love about Melissa is so loving and so authentic. I know sometimes I feel like it might be my own story that those free 30-minute things when I'm like, oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to open the can of worms and then like see what's on the other side? Because I don't know what's going to really be on the other side. And it's safe. I'm just telling you, it is safe for you to go to the other side with Melissa. She will talk to you for the 30 minutes and she will just help you and she will just talk to you. So if you're like, I don't really know. Just book the 30-minute call. Like, it's a safe space for you. It's safe. You are worth the investment every single time. That is Melissa's message. And it's not about how much time, but how you utilize it. So with that thought, thank you everybody for being here today on the Together We Feel podcast, the Come As You Are Women's Panel. Everybody have an amazing afternoon.